Again, for people who are just joining us, we're trying to get a sense of who is having an issue with the player crashing on them. And if you are having an issue, we would like to discuss that and come up with two possibilities for workarounds. One of which would be that whenever you, instead of hitting stop or when you hit stop in player, close it after that and relaunch it, which of course will take a little bit more time, although it should work because it should remember what you were doing. The alternative is to reinstall 4.6, which seems to be working more reliably for people. And we'd be happy to show you how to do that right now. But I need people to speak up and let us know what your experiences are. So you can unmute during this session. You can unmute. Let us know what you want, what your experience is. So please do let us know. I actually need to hear from everybody in the room. So please just run down the list. Ekaterina, what's your experience?
Well, it's like the player crashes every time I change something in the Twedit. And
Yes.
So I kind of have to either close it or it just crashes and I have to open it again.
Right. Okay.
But the Twedit doesn't crash.
Right. Yes. Well, that seems to be correct. And you're using 4.7, is that right?
Yes,
And you're on a PC, a Mac, or Linux?
on Linux.
On Linux. Because other people seem to be okay with Linux on 4.7. All right. My suggestion would be then to install 4.6. You can down.
I tried. I actually had 4.6 before and it was the same.
Well, in fact, one of the reasons we moved from 4.6 to 4.7 was because we were supposed to fix some issues in Linux. But um, so I think then your best bet is probably simply the one thing about letting it crash and then having it auto restart is that it's a little bit slow compared to having if you close it by hand and then relaunch player. So probably for you, the best thing is going to be when you hit stop on your simulation in player, close player, and then restart it from Twit. I know that's not the most convenient thing in the world, but for the moment, that may be the best solution for you if 4.6 wasn't working. I know on Windows and Macs, the 4.6 seems to be all right. So that's my concern there. Allison, what about you?
Hi, sorry, I just joined. What was the question?
So we're trying to deal with the fact that people are having crashing issues. Some people are having crashing issues with the 4.7 player. And so I'm trying to get a sense of whether you have whether you're using 4.6 or 4.7, what operating system, if it's a Mac, if it's a M1, M2, or something else, and uh, in that case, and what we're going to do about it.
Sure. I'm using a Mac M2 and then the 4.7 works for most of the time. I think just sometimes the Python crashes, but it's not super frequent, so I can still use the software.
Okay, great. So probably for you, sticking with 4.7 is our best bet.
Yeah, I think so.
Great, thank you. How about Eunice?
Hi, I'm actually using Conda, and
Okay,
then yeah, when I install, it says 4.7 is it should use Python 3.12.
yeah.
instead of 3.1. So I tried, but the player crashed. So I revert back to installing 4.6.
And it's working. 4.6 is working for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I've been using it since yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Juhi? No. Luis?
Yes, I'm having the same issues. I'm working on Mac with
Yes.
4.7, but as you explained before, I just when it crashed, I just open it again from the tweeted
Okay.
it.
Is that all right for you, or do you want to go back to 4.6?
No, it's okay for me to deal that way.
Okay. Because I know it can be frustrating. As I say, what I would recommend is instead of waiting for Twitted player to crash, I would close it. When you hit stop in your simulation, close it immediately afterwards and then reopen it. It'll be a faster reopen than to have it go through the crash report. Okay, is there anybody else? Can I have a show of hands, perhaps? How many people here are using 4.6? You can do it. Okay. Okay, so, all right. So the majority of people are using 4.6. How many people are having crash problems? Let's see, is Pedro here? Hayden, if you're here or Gilberto's here, do you want to walk through the screen share and walk through installing 4.6 again? Because my recommendation for anyone who's having crash issues is to install 4.6. Now, to install 4.6, you don't have to do anything fancy. You can download well, at least on a Windows machine, you can download the installer for 4.6 from SourceForge and run it, and it will overwrite 4.7. Hayden, are you there? You're there? Do you want to take over?
Sure.
Why don't you start from the beginning and we can take, I'll let you do it.
Well, we still got 2 minutes technically before the meeting starts. So that people may still be signing on. If we're gonna walk through this, we should probably wait till most people have joined.
I guess the only reason I was thinking about talking to people now was in case the there are issues with individual cases. I thought if people who want to do the rollback got started now, then we'd be able to help them a little more, perhaps. Maybe just in the chat, how many people are having problems and would like to roll back? Maybe to say want to roll back, and if you do that, indicate if you're on Windows, Mac. If you're on a Mac, which operating system, which chip you're using.
Okay, so for people who are joining, we were having an issue yesterday with CompuCell 4.7 crashing on repeated runs of an open simulation. There are a couple of workarounds. Well, there's one workaround and then there's one more permanent solution. The easiest, if you don't want to reinstall CompuCell, is just to remember to, after you stop your simulation, close player and then run it again from Twedit. This isn't optimal because it does take a minute, but it's quicker than having to wait for player to crash and recover. But what we're recommending is that people who are having issues with the 4.7 install, that you actually roll back to CompuCell 4.6. I'll put this link here in the chat.
Hayden, I'm going to do a little poll so people don't have to speak up. Give me 1 second.
So if you just follow this link, this will take you to the SourceForge archive. Again, do not click down the latest version like you did before. You just click through to your Windows, Linux, or Mac, whichever operating system you're using, click through that folder, and you'll be given the 4.6 installer. So you can download that. And you should just be able to run that installer, and it will ask you if you want to install the currently installed or uninstall the currently installed version of CompuCell. So I'm actually going to do that on my end now because I have not done that yet. And then while that's running, we'll walk through the morning announcements. So it should be that easy. That's always a dangerous thing to say in computer land, but yeah, Lorenzo makes a good point. If you were using the Conda installation, you can have both on your system, but make sure you create a separate environment during installation. You'll have to call it something else. And then you'll just activate whichever environment you want to use, either 4.6 or 4.7.
There's a question about lightning talks for the hackathon.
Anastasia, yes, we can have people who are presenting tomorrow upload their slides tonight. That way you can take a look in the morning. Again, they may go up as sort of semi-draft versions. Sometimes we make changes in the evening depending on what happened during the day. But you'll have a version of the slides to look at tonight.
Yeah, it's
And
probably worth saying that when you fill out those polls, we spend an hour every evening after we finish our presentations going over the poll results and try to adapt for the next day based on your poll comments, especially people who fill out the detailed text comments. We look at every one of those and try to respond to it. So it looks like most people are using 4.7. Looks like pretty much everyone who is using 4.7 is having issues. A few people would like to do a rollback, but most people seem to be okay. Most people are using the regular install. You can certainly submit hackathon projects tomorrow. Doesn't have to be today. I'll let Hayden take over now. And so if people would like to roll back the first section, the first talk today, which I'm giving, is going to not have a lot of computing in it, a lot of use of CompuCell directly. And so you don't have to worry about crashes for the next hour or so. I would suggest if you do want to do a rollback, you meet over the lunch break with one of the TAs, and they can help you get that done.
all right, so welcome back, everybody, to day 2 of our 2025 CompuCell3D training workshop. Just have a few quick announcements to run through before we get started on Module 1 today. Just as a reminder, ongoing reminder, this session, along with all of the other sessions during the workshop, are being recorded and live streamed to YouTube for people who are attending asynchronously or for your future viewing. This slide deck, as well as all the other slide decks for today, can be found in the student materials folder. Put the link here in the chat. Again, like yesterday, please submit all your questions, comments, and concerns via the Zoom chat. For today, we'll have people in the chat helping to answer questions, just like yesterday. We have our hackathon idea sharing document up if you would like to take a look at that and potentially put your idea in there to start looking for teammates. Put the link here in the chat again. And then if you have not yet joined the Slack, we recommend you do so. It hasn't been used too much so far, but once we get further into the course and closer to the hackathon especially, people will start using that more. So please do join that so you can keep up with the conversation there. We'd like to thank our funding sources through the NSF and the NIH, as well as our support network through the IUB Biocomplexity Institute, the OpenVT and Glimprint initiatives. Their support is what allows us to put on this workshop every year, so we appreciate all that they do. So another quick reminder of our people. Today we'll be hearing from Professor Glazier and Professor Gilberto L. Thomas in modules 2 and 3. Again, if you'd like to send somebody an email directly, you can find these names and email links in the slides, or you can email me, and if I can't help answer your question directly, then I will forward you to someone who can. Again, we're on day 2 today. Today's theme is Principles of Modeling Contact Energies and Cell Growth and Division and Other Properties and Shape Constraints. Specific schedule from now until 12 a.m. or 12 p.m., excuse me. 12 a.m. would be a very long class. Until 12 p.m., we'll be having Fundamentals of Modeling Biology with Professor James Glazier. Again, we'll have our lunch break from noon to 1. From 1 to 2:30, we'll have Cell Properties and Shape Determinants with Gilberto Thomas. From 2:30 to 3, we'll have our afternoon break, and then we'll move into our Cell Growth and Division and Scientific Plotting session for Module 3. And like yesterday, we'll have some time at the end of the day for Q&A with the instructors, as well as other discussion and various questions. One quick announcement for anybody who has joined in the past 10 minutes or so. You saw in your morning announcements email today that we were encountering an issue yesterday with CompuCell 4.7.0 crashing for a lot of people on repeated runs of an open simulation. So if you had opened a simulation and were making changes in TWEDIT and rerunning it in Player, it would continuously crash on the third or fourth run, and you'd have to reopen it through TWEDIT. We thank you for your patience with that. 4.7 is relatively new, so this is a new issue that we're trying to find a solution to this week. In the meantime, there are a couple of options. Version 4.6 does not have this frequent crashing issue, particularly with rerunning open simulations. So what we're recommending right now is that anybody who is running 4.7 who is having issues with crashing, we have been getting some reports that some people are able to run it just fine. If 4.7 is working for you currently, you don't have to do anything. But if you are having these issues with crashing, you can roll back to version 4.6.0. Let me grab that link, put it in the chat again. So if you follow this link, it will take you to the SourceForge archive page. Again, if you click download latest version, you'll just get the 4.7 installer again. So what you need to do is, you'll actually be sent to this page. So download latest version. We'll still give you 4.7, but if you come down to our list here and choose your operating system, so I'm on Windows, I would click through Windows. You can download the 4.6.0 installer. And with Linux and Mac, you would download the .sh file and follow the instructions on the website like you did with the 4.7 installer. And if you are running the one-click installer, it'll detect that you already have CompuCell in your system and ask if you'd like to uninstall. You can go ahead and just have the installer uninstall CompuCell for you, which I'm actually doing now, and reinstall 4.6. So the other option is if you do not want to roll back today, crashing can be avoided if you remember just to close Player after stopping your simulation and then relaunching the simulation from TWEDIT. This is a little bit cumbersome, and it does take a minute for TWEDIT to reinitialize Player each time, but it's quicker than having to wait through Player crashing and doing cleanup and recovering after a simulation has gone down. So if you'd like to just stick with 4.7 today and deal with rolling back this evening, for modules 2 and 3 today, just remember to close player after stopping your simulation and rerun it from Twedit. We will be available during lunch to help people with rollbacks. At the beginning of lunch, if you are interested in that, if you're having any issues with getting the version, I hate to say downgraded, but I've been saying rollback a lot, rolled back. We will be available for the first 15 to 20 minutes of lunch to help you do that. Our first session today, we won't be doing much in the way of CompuCell examples. So if you'd like to get the installer running now, that will be fine. We won't be using CompuCell for the next couple of hours, not directly at least. We did get a couple of questions about hackathon project stuff. Yes, it's perfectly fine to submit project information tomorrow. We'll be having one opportunity for lightning talks tomorrow during the extra session before lunch, and then one on Friday. Depending on how many people would like to present their work, we may do one session over the weekend if we have a lot of interest. And we'll have plenty of time next week at the beginning of the week for people to present their lightning talks as well. So if you are interested in participating in the hackathon, even if you can't make all of the sessions next week, you're welcome to pop in and present your work. We'll be sending out signups for that over the course of the week. The sign-up sheet that I sent out last night, one person did ask, do you have to save anything? No, just go ahead and put your name and your project information in whichever slot you'd like to take, and we'll get you signed up. We only have time for one person per slot. There are only 5 minutes to begin with. So please just try to find an empty slot somewhere that works for you.